My name is Buzz Noe, nickname for George, but been that since I was 5 years old, so why change? And what I do is I am a sales and leasing consultant at Ocean Honda in the Ventura Auto Mall. As far as the chamber involvement, I'm one of the ambassadors for the Chamber of Commerce. Ocean has been a member of the chamber, I guess, for probably 20 years now. We think it's important, if you're a part of the business community in Ventura, to be represented in that community by the Chamber of Commerce. Gives you the visibility, the recognition, and just that cachet if you're part of the business community that you're working and doing business in.
Excellent. Now, Buzz, any hobbies? What are the hobbies that you have that you probably practice to keep you up with the energy that you have and the creativity, the resourcefulness?
Hobbies. Well, I'm rather advanced in years at this point, but hopefully I look fairly healthy, and that's because I take time to do a couple of things. I watch my diet. I think that's first and foremost an important aspect, and do all the things that are common sense. The other thing is exercise. I run on the beach. I ride my bike on the beach path over there by the Ventura Mall. I have kind of a philosophy that our human body is made for a certain degree of regular exercise. You have to move things around to keep yourself healthy. My watchword that I pass on is 150 minutes a week. I strive for that myself. I recommend that. Find a way to be active for 150 minutes every week, and you will stay healthy through your entire life. Other hobbies, I enjoy films. I was an actor for 20-some years. Still get out when I can and do that. And enjoy, of course, films and theater whenever I get the opportunity. And the other hobby is traveling with my wife. We go to Yosemite 2 or 3 times a year. We love it up there. I have an aspect of my life that has to go back to nature from time to time to commune with what this earth is all about, because that's where we live. Let's make the most of it. World
class. Well, Buzz, it was good hearing you. Thanks for being here. Again, you're part of the chamber itself, so that's excellent. Yeah. And we wish you a happy rest of the Thursday, Friday weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for the time.
Okay.
Hi, I'm Bernita Brazier, Just Being Healthy, a holistic options for health and wellness. We are a corporate solutions for companies that want to improve or enhance their wellness and their benefits package. We are located in Ventura, and we branch out throughout Ventura County. Our purpose is to help educate employees so that employers don't have the increased costs of work injuries or stress. Right. Or different types of injuries that happen through repetitive strain. We bring in massage. We also have nutritional counseling, as well as nutritional workshops. We collaborate with acupuncturists and chiropractors and naturopaths and different modalities throughout the community to bring a very holistic package to each and every company. We feel that if we can start in small to medium-sized businesses, by the time it's been a year or 2 years, it makes a business much more profitable because you have a lot less injury, a lot less expense. It takes a lot to train an employee. But unfortunately, if an employee gets hurt or they become overstressed, then how good is that employee for you? Not very good. And then you have to go through that training again of another person to do the same job that you just trained somebody for. Our motivating factor is that when you look at research, there are more and more companies bringing in massage therapy, corporate chair massage, and offering table massage to their employees. We wanted to take it a step further and not just offering corporate chair massage, but really bringing an educational component to the workplace to make it a very healthier work environment, so that the corporate culture is very proactive. So employees feel that they're in charge of their health and wellness, which makes the employer a lot, gives them peace of mind, because now they know that they have this other company that's helping them promote health and wellness and keep costs down, not just in training other employees, but also making sure that the current employees that they do have are happy, productive, which is also a very good reason to bring in another company to do the health and wellness. But also when you have this corporate culture of proactiveness, you get just a much better product or service to your customers, which is always a plus for any business. We don't try to reinvent the wheel, but our therapists are trained in medical massage. They do an excellent job with slip and falls, repetitive strain injuries, post-operative, and also preventive and rehabilitative types of techniques.
That's
Sorry.
excellent. No, that's good. So our 21st century is headed in that direction. Corporations are getting smarter.
Yes.
They're understanding what it is that's necessary, and it's something other than a focus on money, but a focus on people. That's our greatest resource for every business, every corporation. People, empowering the people, and that's part of what the Cal State Channel Islands School of Social Business is also about. And they actually are doing that in India and China, third world countries, Africa. So the whole hope for our 21st century being realized is actually in play. It's actually happening right now, and I can see how you guys are a part of that. So excellent, thank you very much. So also now there is an individual and unique perspective that you can provide in terms of why it is that you chose this kind of work. So that the why is always what people remember. And
Yeah, because I was born in Louisiana. My mom did not speak English. Many of my relatives did not speak English. And even though they had been here in the United States, in Louisiana, English was an option. But one of the things they brought with them is this holistic idea of healing and very preventive. When we got sick, we were really sick, but my mother always did the prevention thing.
Right.
So we would get back rubs, we would get home remedies, we'd still see the doctor, but it was not a lot. And it's funny because you said, human beings are our greatest resource, and you're right. But the bottom line is when you have healthy human beings, you don't have to, waste the money on that. You can actually promote that preventive. And I think that's the why. Because I see so many companies spending a lot of money trying to, I guess, put a Band-Aid on what's broke instead of enhancing what they have presently.
Right.
If your greatest resource are your human beings, and you have some very talented individuals in your company, why wouldn't you take care of them? If you're going to get them dental and medical or give them shares, why not bring in a company that can help you enhance that wellness program? And so one of the things, my personal background is San Francisco Bay Area. So in San Francisco Bay Area, I actually worked in the hospital. I worked with patients in the hospital and outpatient. I worked with medical doctors. I worked with physical therapists, occupational therapists, chiropractors, naturopaths, osteopaths. So I worked in that whole medical scene, and it wasn't differentiated. The doctors, totally relied on the massage therapist to be educated enough to use use their skill set to, help them work to that goal. The doctors obviously, made the plan, the what was going to happen, the treatment plan, but chiropractors and acupuncturists and massage therapists each had a component in there because the human body is too complex to say, there, you're fixed. One pill does not fix it all. So because the body is so complex, you have to have a complex solution. And I think that's what we try to do at Just Being Healthy. I say holistic because it's your whole body we consider.
Right.
We don't consider if your thumb is hurting, okay, it's just your thumb. No, because if your thumb is hurting, your whole body reacts to that. So we address all of that. And why were you distracted anyway to hurt your thumb? So there's always other components that you have to take into consideration. And I think that's what we really try to do. We really try to work toward that. Even with nutrition, we don't do weight loss. We do weight management. I don't like weight loss because when you lose something, you're trying to find it again.
Good point. That's it. That's good science.
So we try to make sure that we look at lifestyle stressors male and female, and it makes a huge difference.
I
So
did not-
male and
I-
female makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
And stressors, men and women handle stress differently, and that is done supported by research. And in fact, I say just being healthy, we have empirically supported modalities and techniques that we use.
World class.
Yes.
Well, we're happy to have that in Ventura,
Yay.
and it's wonderful to meet you here at the chamber, our chamber, our biannual chamber event.
Merci beaucoup.
And of course, I wish you a wonderful rest of the Thursday, Friday weekend.
Thank you. I shall enjoy it.
Okay, all right.
A bientôt.
A bientôt.
Hi, I'm Victoria Giffens. That's who I am and why I do what I do. I'm an interior designer, and I incorporate some very unique experiences working for an infectious disease specialist with people who were dying.
Oh,
And as a young woman, I was invited many times to their homes, and I noticed some very disturbing commonalities between people that were dying.
okay.
And when I went as a trained designer in my interior design business, I noticed that the antithesis, the opposite of what I was viewing in those homes, was presented as aesthetic choices, when all along what they were talking about were temporal spaces that expressed health. So when you look at your house and there are certain mental problems or certain diseases that present in the body, we are very consistent beings. We manifest in our temporal spaces. We
Okay.
tell on ourselves that
Good.
something's wrong. So, for instance, when I walk into a home, this is a good example, a gentleman I just saw. I walked into his home, and directly in front of his front door, in a hallway leading to his public spaces, he had dressers and a golf bag and a bench. He had obstructions, and I looked at him and I said, "When was the last time you saw your cardio specialist? I'm going to recommend that you make an appointment, make sure that you have, an annual visit." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Every artery in your home is obstructed."
Okay.
So
Interesting.
that's a good example. Another one would be like this one. Hoarding is a psychological condition. Hoarding also is a way of manifesting on the outside a bunch of emotional flow that's blocked. It's like being emotionally constipated. Hoarders have an inability to move from one emotional reaction to something in through to a healing stasis. So in other words, when we think about painful experiences, a lot of times we know that we're going to walk into a painful experience. We brace ourselves because we know we're going to come on the other end. A hoarder is trapped
Okay.
inside that space as they are feeling they need to hold on to. It's like a panic. I'll give you an example. If you ever met a hoarder, the one thing that you can't do with them is remove their things from the space until they understand that it's a therapeutic process, not a power struggle. When they realize, when the State Department comes, that they're going to lose their home, what allows them to release into that process is that one pain is greater than the other pain. So you have to strategically find something they're most afraid of, because just displeasing you because their house doesn't look good or it doesn't smell good is not enough motivation for them until they feel their entire environment's threatened. So in a lot of areas, when you talk about emotional disturbances, one of which is clutter, that if you have a place in your head where you're very, very anxious, just take a moment and look at your space, because when you're anxious, people seem to not be able to complete an action, and they'll start collecting things at riverbeds. Like a boat will run the bottom of a place, and everything will collect in that place, in that that marker of the house, where it just seems like nothing passes through that marker. It all gets stuck in that space. Sometimes it's a kitchen table, a counter in the kitchen, a desk right in front of the door. That's fine. When, as a designer, I'll go in and I'll create a real functional space with storage and function. I would never say to them, you can't put your jacket, or like a man, this is a good example too. For men especially, women do it in the kitchen, men are really bad at this in their bedroom, where they just don't put anything away in their bedroom. So what I would do is I'd create a place for them to hang their jacket, a dish for their keys, an actual basket for them to drop their briefcase in, places that are designated exactly where they want to drop it, but with respect to how it's contained. So with all that being said, as a designer, we're plagiarists.
Okay.
We're intersecting and meeting all of these issues. Most designers don't want to consciously deal with them, but they do deal with them, because when they walk into a house and they're supposed to do organizational planning and they've got way too much stuff, that designer will talk to you about purging. I'll talk to you about purging for emotional, spiritual reasons.
Right.
She'll do it because she can't fathom handling the space without having less to contend with. I see it as an opportunity for that person to be able to actually start to let go. And that process is really important for them on the back end, to have an empty home that's vacated, and then whatever's brought into that space they're really married to. They really choose it. It's not borrowed from someone else. It's not deferred because everyone has given them things. They actually consent to everything in their space. And
Excellent.
that's really powerful after you get a divorce, there's a death in the family, your kids leave. So that's what I do. What was the other question?
Well, now we can do the why, the motivation
Why?
for you. Yes.
Well, I do a lot of things. I think interior design is evasive for me because I'm an empath. And for all those that don't know what an empath is, I feel you feeling me, feeling you. Okay, so when you go into a room, I not only know what I'm feeling about my surroundings, I'm reading you, reading your surroundings, reading me, and your reaction to me. So an empath has twice the amount of information, and it's looped, it's very convoluted. So an empath you can't tell them they're too sensitive, because by the time they get to my age, they already know they're seeing truth. They understand that they're seeing and perceiving and taking in more information than what other people know what to do with. So when I walk into a house, I do what I do because I understand people live unconsciously.
Right.
So let me give you an example. Husband and wife will come to me for a design consult.
Okay.
The husband will be totally on board until he comes with her throughout the whole house. They like what I'm saying. I'm totally checking out with credibility until they get to the common area where he sits down and he watches his shows after a hard day in his big, ugly, worn out chair.
Yeah.
Now what does the wife say? Take this to the curb. It's shabby, it's broken, it's threadbare, the cushions are sagging, and of course, what is the poor guy saying? I'm threadbare, I'm saggy.
Oh, okay.
His chair has become a metaphor for him. And the wife, not understanding that this is what he needs to debrief, presents this dynamic. And you know what? Whether I acknowledge it or not, it happens, but I acknowledge it. So I'm able to say to the guy, well, the chair does look a little tired, but you're worthy of a nice, comfortable chair. Let's go to Easy Boy and find you a beautiful chair. Honoring him. The wife sometimes gets it when I put it that way, that she's being disrespectful to him. Because after all, we all own a certain space and what we do with that space. And you come over and you go, this doesn't work for me. People need to feel comfortable in their own home. And you don't want to, chairs not for sitting. You don't want to create that.
Right.
So that's why I do it, is that there's opportunity in the design of someone's house, even a single guy. There's a way, if a young man, let's say, dated a woman and she broke his heart, he's going to want to redirect his entire space. There's a way to bring some sense of empowerment to the process, and it's just a shame to let it go to waste. That's why I do what I do.
Good signs. Well, Thank you very much again.
Thank you.
And again, happy rest of the Thursday, Friday weekend. And we enjoyed, of course, being here with you at the wonderful Chamber of Commerce Expo. So happy rest of the Super Thursday.
Thank you. Have a good night too, Firman.
Okay.
I'm Roderick James.
And hi, Roderick. So happy Super Saturday to you, and thanks for
Back to you.
the informational sharing and connection that we're doing. So there is a wonderful project that you guys are working on that we're going to do a couple times a year. Describe that.
It's called the Ojai Peace Project. Ojai Peace Project is something I started about 2 years ago. I moved to Ojai, and I wanted to do a music festival, and I enlisted the help of friends in the music business, and the dates are December 21, 2, and 3, 2014 in Ojai, and you can go online on Facebook and check it out, Ojai Peace Project.
Okay, and this is a non-profit, so we can say everything we want to about it. How did they get started? What's the inception?
Well, I spent 20 years doing events. Have a charity called Angel Project I created, and my goal. Angel Project. Angel Project. And we did events for about 12 years, raised about $250,000. And the goal was to have an amazing party twice a year, winter solstice, summer solstice, and give a portion of all the proceeds, if not all, to charity.
Excellent.
I'm torn between looking at you and looking at the camera.
Yes, and if you go back and forth, okay. We're still here in either of them.
All right.
For you, so yeah.
Dateline, New York, 2020, live with Roderick James. And motorcycles.
I'm happy we have our directional microphone as it'll pick up your projection.
Cool.
Over everything else. So the idea of a nonprofit, is that something that you've always wanted to do?
It's something that I had a friend who died of AIDS in around 1999, Scott Ciatos, and he'd been sick for a long time, and I just knew I had to do something. The movie Philadelphia had come out, and the AIDS epidemic was grand, and so I decided I'm good at throwing events and parties, so why not have events and then give the money to AIDS Care, Project Understanding, Salvation Army, agencies that were doing well, but maybe didn't have the ability to throw a party and raise money and awareness. So that's what we did.
Yeah, what I've noticed, and this is just me, but institutions and organizations, they function well, but there is a greater fluidity that exists with individuals and their capacity to connect with other individuals for specific functions.
So it specifically had an art component, music, dancing, food, everything is donated. We had an underwriter, and then the proceeds were given to various charities, including the Wave. The last big party event I had that raised the most money was for the Wave, Working Artist Ventura. That was actually November 19th, 2005.
Okay.
We raised $45,000 in one night selling art.
Okay, was that at the Wave?
No, the Wave wasn't there yet. It was at my house.
Oh, excellent. So you're actually one of the originators and the developers of the...
My name is on the wall, Saya.
Excellent.
But the last event we had was on the rooftop of the Aloha Steakhouse parking structure.
Right.
I have a large tent. We had about 250 people, and that was about 4 years ago. And then the economy, things went crazy. I went through a lot of personal things that made it difficult to do events. And so this event that I'm promoting now is kind of a comeback event on November 8th.
Excellent.
Saturday, November 8th.
Yeah. Well, that's excellent. The idea that we have events in the past that we can learn from helps to define the great events that we can do in the future. So the need for experience, it almost is the definition of insight. And as a result, yeah, we thank you for that and other things that you'll be doing in the future, Robert. So, yeah.
It's a lot of fun.
And that's the spirit of creativity that we actually have issues with now with our kids that are looking for jobs. I mean, a lot of kids are graduating. What am I going to do? The idea that they have the capacity to create almost anything in our country is something that they can begin to take stock of, because that's primarily what it is they'll be doing, collaborating. It'll be the social connection that will allow them to create the new businesses with the insights that we can provide from our experiences that
Exactly.
are right there. So hence the concept of community, which is why I'm walking around with this camera.
And why I'm working with a much younger man than I am.
And putting the T
Who you can't see.
Yes, putting the T in teamwork, and it's that teamwork.
Collaboration.
It is that is how it is, and we sort of understood that, but there was a heavy industry component in our society, all the way through the 1800, 1900, and now it's technology sort of taking over, and what's left is us. So now it's like.
But I think that's a great thing, because communities need to take responsibility for their community. I can't save the world, I can't change the world so much, but I can change here in Ventura County. So this event will be the catalyst to make that happen.
Excellent. So any closing remarks that are insightful, anything about yourself that where you've traveled, or any specific wonderful resources that you've
I have an ability to bring people together for a common cause, and right now what's really on my heart and mind is there are a lot of people that have lost their jobs and lost their homes and are trying to make it, and the goal of Angel Project Ojai is to actually help people get back on their feet, be productive, be fulfilled, and have what they need. No one in our country should be, in my opinion, hungry, lonely, cold in the winter. We have plenty of resources. So the idea is to bring people together and then find ways to distribute food, clothes, shelter, the basics to people that live in this community. Amen, brother.
Yeah.
Amen, brother.
Amen.
Of all ages, I don't care about your religious beliefs. It doesn't matter. We're all the same.
So lovely. I will say thank you very much.
Thank you
for sharing and connecting.
I appreciate it.
And happy, wonderful rest of the Saturday to you.
And happy editing to you.
Yes, editing and Ventura Talks editing. Yes, I will thank you, sir.
I really appreciate it. Thank you.
My name's Tammy White, and I am one of the owners of Crepes and Hops on Main Street in downtown Ventura. Place. It's the place for adults to come and enjoy each other's company. It's a place that took us about a year to open. We did all the work ourselves. So the design, we came in, it was kind of a great big white hole and didn't know what we were going to do. And little by little, we would do one little thing and it just evolved. So it's we didn't want to just throw some paint up, and we didn't want to just throw paint up and be done with it and open the bar really quickly. So it did take us quite a long time. We want this to be a destination place for Ventura and for the folks of Ventura to be very, very proud of. So. Primarily family, yep. My sisters and I built all the tables. We have a niece that did a beautiful mural on the wall. My stepdad built the bar. So it's just a really great friend of mine helped me do everything else. So, I mean, just from building walls, hanging pallets, and lots of fun stuff.
And this sort of qualifies you as a master builder. It's like you're an architect. It's unique
It was pretty hands-on, and it was a lot of fun. And so, yes. I've been in the wine business for quite some time, about 15 years, and and I sold wine, so I come from a different background. It's kind of an accumulation of all the beautiful wine bars that I have seen, and hopefully I've taken some good pieces from the different folks and friends, and it's just cool, interesting, fun place that is aesthetically pleasing. But I've been in Ventura for about 15 years. I come from Bakersfield, so I grew up in Bakersfield, and the whole family's there. So we have loads of people that do travel from Bakersfield and come and hang out with us. So there's a lot of Bako transplants here. So it's a lot of fun. We love Ventura. We really did want to have and create a space that Ventura was very proud of. I think I get used to the way it looks, but when people come in, and I've never been in a place that has more pictures taken. So people come in, and sometimes they don't have any wine or beer. They just walk in and they take pictures, and they take family pictures in front of certain walls and pieces of. The walls are art here, so it's a lot of fun. I want people to enjoy each other's company, have great conversation, or if you just want to come in and read a book and meet somebody new. So we want it to be comfortable for all ages, men, women, couples, parties, friends, family. So it is quite a destination place. We have lots of birthday parties that people have, parties they have, conferences here. So there's lots of gatherings. So people do gather to talk and enjoy each other's company. So we're people, pet, people 21 and over, friendly. So that is, yes. Well, my background, I come from the wine background, but my schooling is, kinesiology is kind of the love and very sports oriented. So that's kind of what I did. My hobbies right now are working and working and working. so those hobbies kind of, taking a little. I do a little hiking and trying to get back into running. But yeah, right now my hobby is work. But it's good work. We have local art, so we have different local artists, and we also do live music. So we have a lot of local, there's some really incredible musicians that come through here. Local musicians, but also musicians from, LA to, yes, all over the place. So I think we have pretty incredible music here. So it's a little more acoustic, not too loud. We still want people to be able to talk and enjoy each other's company, but lots of singer-songwriters. So the music is pretty great. So yes, we really want that to be a great focal point here as well. So thank you very much.
It is interesting. I love this work. It's hammered copper, and I use dichroic glass, and I melt the glass onto the copper. I have a lot of fun with it. I'm sorry?
Melt the glass onto the copper?
Yeah. I don't know of anybody else doing this, so it makes it even more unique. But they all come with my mark on the back.
Yeah. What made you start doing those?
Well, I've been an artist for 50 some odd years, and I've done stained glass window and a lot of various things. But this is the most unique because I don't believe there's anybody else doing this work. Yeah, I have a lot of fun with it.
I see the patterns are irregular.
Yeah. Well, I have to stack the colors the way I hope they'll go, and then once they go into the kiln, I have no control over it, so it's always a moment of, suspense until I open the kiln. Oh yeah, of course.
So what's your name now?
Peter Farrell.
Okay, Aloha.
We are at the Arts and Crafts by the Sea show, which has been going on for many years right here on the beach in Ventura, California. It's perfect. It's beautiful. Oh yeah. It's a wonderful place, except sometimes we get, you know, some wind and things. But I have a nice selection here. Here's another very pretty one I like a lot. They're all pretty, but I mean, I like this one. Yeah. It does, doesn't it? Yeah, thank you. It's great fun. I hope everybody comes down here. We got a great show. We have every craftsman in the show. It's all handmade by the person himself. Nothing from China, nothing. So. Yes. Just a variety of things I've done, from sculpture work to stained glass window work to, you know, so many different things. So this is the most enjoyable though.
So hi. And your name is?
Anne at the beach.
Anne at the beach. So Anne, so what have you got here that's so wonderful and colorful?
Well, I do a lot of knitting.
Okay.
And jewelry, a little bit of jewelry, mostly knitting. But we do have a nice little arts and crafts show here every Saturday during the year, and have a lot of very good vendors that make their own products. And always nice to find handmade things. So, as I said, mine is mostly knitting. Lots of baby sweaters, baby blankets.
Oh yeah, that's a favorite with Mom.
Yes. Yes.
So are they made with cloth?
I do knit some cloth, but this is mostly yarn and ribbon yarn. We use very soft baby yarn for the baby things. And I felt, so I do have some. I don't have any out here today, but I do felting. And
oh, I see a baby up there.
focus on the baby middies.
Oh, I see those.
Lots of little baby sets. And tiny ribbon scarves and big ribbon scarves, so a little bit of everything. Anything involving yarn, I'm interested in. And I'm doing some very soft, pull my stuff out of here, soft furry things for the winter that can be worn around the neck, or soft. Can be worn around the neck or up about the face for warmth. And the yarn is really, really yummy. Bracelets, necklaces. That's really most.
Even hats out here.
Yes, I make berets, and I knit a lot for cancer, for the NICU at County Hospital, and for the base, for the new mom support group. So I make a lot of things to donate too.
Excellent. I'll just scan over and get some of the. These are all beautiful items.
Thank you very much. Have a good time with beads and yarn.
Beads and yarn, well done. Well, it's time well spent indeed. You've created a wonderful resource for people to be able to experience here in Ventura County. When we have visitors from around the world, right? We're an international destination. Santa Barbara gets people, and Los Angeles, and they all come here.
We do. We get people year after year that come back and remember what they bought here. So we have a lot of satisfied customers that love to see our arts and crafts.
Excellent. Well,
Thank you so much for coming to interview us.
Thank you, Anne. Okay, we'll talk to you soon.
Okay.
My name is Jamie and this is Marion, and we are Succulents with Style. We create living arrangements with succulents and put them in the most unique containers we can possibly find. They are all drilled with drainage holes. And basically this just started as a hobby for our friends and family, and it turned into more when everyone loved them and we couldn't stop. So this is what we do. We continue to create more and more, and we do custom orders. Anything you want, any pot, shape, size, color, we can find it. That's what we do. We look for pots, we look for the most unique succulents we can find, and our creative juices just flow. We just go on and make beautiful arrangements, as you can see.
Living arrangements.
Living arrangements. They do not die. They are desert plants. So that's what we are basically living in right now. We are turning back into a desert. So these plants will thrive on neglect. They store their water in their leaves and stems, so they can go a long time without being watered. They love this climate. They do great in this. They just need about 6 hours of bright light a day, and they do wonderful. They look beautiful when they're flowering or not flowering. They're bright colored, and they just don't like to be overwatered. That's basically it. So they're very hardy plants, especially for this drought that we're going through right now. This is part of the solution, and more people are turning to succulents, and we are answering their questions on our website and our Facebook.
And we have very exotic plants. Succulents come in a variety of sizes and shapes and colors.
Hundreds, yeah. Every time you think you've seen them all, you find a new one. I mean, they're just
amazing. Yes,
yeah, they come from Africa. They come from all over the place. Yeah. Yeah, they come from all over the place.
Yes.
I'm born and raised right here in Ventura.
And I wasn't, but I've been here for 30 years. Jamie and I met as neighbors.
Yes.
We met about a year ago, and she lived in my apartment complex for the past 5 years, and I'd been there about 14 years. And we met and became friends instantaneously, and shared the same desire to shape things and make arrangements, and same artistic skills.
So high school, so you went to high school, where did you go to high school?
Oh, I was in the military. My father was in the military, so I went to many. Yes.
I went to Buena. No, just come and check us out. I mean, we can find what you want. We could make anything you need, and
it's easy.
Yeah,
it's our passion. It's our passion.
And find something if someone in a particular combination post between the vase and the plant, because the plants are more someone like
Quite exotic.
And I didn't know that. I've talked to you guys, I think, twice or something in the last 6 months.
yeah. I mean, this is what we do. We live succulents. We study succulents, so we spend a lot of time checking up on them and learning about them and figuring out what makes them healthy and what makes them not healthy and what you need to do to make them happy.
That's a
That is
Yes,
a pumpkin.
this is a whole pumpkin right here. A real
Yes.
pumpkin. So all we've done is just glued moss to the top, and the succulents are actually rooted in the moss. So this will live for the pumpkin will actually live as long as the uncarved pumpkin lives, and then you'll eventually get tired of the pumpkin, and you'll just want to take the succulents off and repot them somewhere else.
This is phenomenal. When you talk all this time, I just realized that I'm saying that. Because there's a small pumpkin large. Right? But this is all organic.
Right. We like to play in the dirt.
Yeah.
And then the other is in the shape of it. Is it a strawberry?
Yeah, this is a strawberry. This is an old cookie jar, in fact, is what this is. And it was missing its lid. So we drilled a hole in the bottom and turned it into a living strawberry arrangement.
Well done. Yes, that's brilliant. That's you guys are making the most of our natural elements, creating products and saying with the environmental focus we have. Very, 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 very well done. And yes, very fruitful business. Yeah.
Thank you, Firman.
Thank you.
So, yes, happy rest of the fun Sunday. And it was great speaking with you guys.
You too.
Thank you so much.
My name is Jennifer. Well, I started about maybe 6 years ago. I lost a job, so this was now my new job. So I started with jewelry and then kind of branched off to tea lights and frames. And I've been doing that ever since.
So when I stand over and when I look at the big pieces, you notice. So what all is there? What about that wood?
Well, I have hair clips and jewelry. So they're all hair clips.
Oh, right.
And hair clips here. So they go in your hair. And then I have jewelry, bracelets, earrings, necklaces, on down to the bracelets, or the anklets. And you can actually double them up on your wrist. Or you can put them over your head.
Oh, it's a necklace.
It's all three.
Wow. That's everything.
Yeah.
That's different. That is.
So, and I actually hand make them here. I have a few made, but I have other charms that I can swap out.
Oh, excellent. So you consider it more like an artist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of do colors, that they like, and they have different colors here, and then all different charms.
So you can have custom.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I have, of course, come today. Oops. These are all for sea life, so I can change everything to that. Or I have crosses, everything under the sun. Yeah. So I have tea lights here. They're all hand painted with enamel, and I put them in the oven to cure it. So as you can see the shells from the opposite side, and you can see that shell from this side. And each one comes with their battery tea light. See it?
Oh, that's the tea light.
Yeah.
Oh.
So these are tea lights.
So they're not candles?
They're kind of candles. You can change them. But they will, and you can still use regular candles in these as well.
So it's two-purpose then. What's the purpose?
Yeah, or you can put your change in there.
It's beautiful babies.
Yes.
You're very excellent.
Oh, thank you. Did very well, yeah. And then the other ones I have are just the enamel as well, and I put them in the oven.
Well, that's good.
But you add a little bling.
Like chemo, and I think it's awesome.
Yes.
So it's like every half hour. I have zero estrogen in my body.
Oh yes.
It causes wrinkles and fat and all kinds of other things.
So I can make either 1, 2, or 3, 4, whichever style. And these are actually done with ink.
Wait, so those are custom switches?
So they're white to begin with, and then it's rubbing alcohol and ink.
Oh my goodness. That is so.
Yeah, so I can do the plugs.
Oh yeah, they don't
switches.
realize it.
They don't
realize it either. They think it's too.
And I've even done the other switches that you have, the rock ones.
Right. And almost any pattern that you want.
Oh yeah.
Get customized.
Yeah, these are a little bit more difficult. this is what I call for every room.
Have a good day.
See, one of colors, but you can do just blue, just yellow, pink.
Solid.
Yeah.
But then also artwork, which is
Yeah, this, so if you can't put artwork on your wall, you can put a small piece of artwork.
yeah. Brilliant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see, so the rest on the table here. That's the same thing. It's custom pieces.
Yeah, so then I have frames that I put the shells on, and I collect them, or they come from everywhere. I have loads of different shells.
Right.
So it can be anywhere from that to here. And this is actually all sea glass from the beach out here. They look like little turtles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or you can have the all sea glass. And I try and do one of every color when I can.
Well done. This has been a fun adventure for you.
Oh yeah.
Which is different because when I walk past, I mean, I don't glean all that information. There's like this, it's like I'm passing by,
Yes.
and I'm not able to process the uniqueness of the glasses.
Oh yeah.
They can be candles or tea lights.
Yeah, these are
Yeah, and then the custom with the ankle, the wrist, the necklace.
Oh yeah.
The different color and combinations, as well as specifically the switch plates.
Switch plates,
We have been through issues with that. We did our house.
Oh yeah, I actually even did all the screws in the colors that are here.
Totally.
So
That was, I mean, to know that you were here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That would have made things a lot easier.
oh yeah. Oh well.
Yeah.
You can switch them.
Brilliant. So most excellent. So again, say your name once more.
Jennifer.
Jennifer. And what is this called?
My is called Jen's Jewelry Designs.
Jen's Jewelry Design. Well, very good to know. Very nice meeting you. And thank you for sharing.
Oh, nice meeting you.
And have a great rest of the wonderful Sunday.
All right, you do too.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Hello, Ventura, my adopted home. You've all been so good to me. I'm going to give you a couple songs for free. This one's called In My Life by John Lennon. There are places I remember all my life. The some have changed, some forever, not for better. Some have gone, and some remain. All these places Yeah.